I'm Doug Chadwick. I studied mountain goats for 7 years in the Montana Rockies. 4 of them on the edge of the Bob Marshall Wilderness and 3 in Glacier National Park. This is a very slow reproducing animal on the very edge of existence, living higher and steeper than any other hoofed animal on the continent. They're very slow growing. When they're a year old, they may weigh 25 pounds. And as a yearling go up to 75, they don't breed until they're 3 years of age, and that's on good food. Now, spring arrives, and all of a sudden mountain goats start showing up at licks at all elevations. If they're lucky, they've got some close to their winter range. But many of them are moving across valleys. I've seen them swim rivers, and they crave that salt. Now, nobody can tell you exactly what's going on with this salt craving. This is the general agreement. Mountain goats are raiding their own skeleton for calcium and potassium, or phosphorus, to be able to run their fermentation process to stay alive all winter. So, they're a big fermentation vat down there. The microbes are doing the work. And they've got to have this precisely balanced. And to do that, you need certain chemical ions. And they have to go replace that in the spring from salt licks. Absolutely crucial. And they obviously crave it. They'll travel so far to get it. They go from being semi-tolerant of one another to when they get on a salt lick, suddenly they're keen competition for the best licking spots. There have been studies of both mountain goats and bighorn sheep subject to a lot of human disturbance. And what you get are very elevated, the corticosteroids, but the stress levels. And for an animal that doesn't start to reproduce until it's about 4 years of age or older, that often reabsorbs the fetus and doesn't produce young at all, has a low reproductive rate after a hard winter. I can't tell you just how much that stress would affect their survival and reproduction, but I know it's going to have an impact. And it may be just a couple of encounters with people. It may be having to go a little harder route to get to where they need to go, but that's going to have a telling effect on the population. The other thing with disturbance is separation of young from their mothers. The mountain goat kid in its first year, actually in its first months, is rarely more than 20 feet from mom. Mom is this defense not only against predators, but against older aggressive goats. And when kids get separated from their mom, they are not going to make it on their own. They stay with her through their full first year. And so this, disruption can have a lot of side effects that I don't think we know quite enough about to measure yet. But I guarantee you, with an animal that has such slender margins in the world it lives in, it's going to count.